Welcome, everyone. I hope you enjoyed some of the music by Henry Kaiser as we opened. I am welcoming you to the celebration of life for H.F. Ito. I'm going to do an opening mokso, followed by some chant music. During the mokso, we may reflect on the life of Ito, and we may have others that we're wishing to send support or our appreciations to. For example, Ula Chambers, Jeff Ward, Brad Larson and his family. And there's probably others across the globe that might need some support. So square yourself in your chair, feet on the ground. Tenchi Jin, Mokso. And Mokso Yame. I'm going to start our program. I'm going to be introducing two people. First, let me introduce Nicole. I am sure that people know Nicole well. She has studied Shintaito for 44 years. She is Ito's wife and frequent companion on many of his extensive travels. Welcome, Nicole. And also introduce Jean-Louis, who is graciously providing us with English-French, French-English translations. Thank you, Jean-Louis. Nicole?
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you. Merci. Bonsoir, chers amis. J'ai choisi de vous donner une vue d'ensemble de ce qui s'est passé depuis le décès de mon époux jusqu'au terme des cérémonies.
Good evening, my friends. I have chosen to give you an overview of what happened since the death of my husband until the end of the ceremonies.
Arushi est décédé le 30 décembre à 20h30. Il était de plus en plus fatigué et faible, mais il nous parlait de son décès soudain. Mais il nous parlait, et son décès soudain nous a surpris. Gilles, Serge et Nicole étaient présents, et Sylvie nous a rejoints quand nous nous sommes aperçus que son état changeait. Nous étions autour de lui au moment de son dernier souffle. Nous nous étions pris les mains pour faire une ronde d'énergie avec lui et avons passé un long moment à méditer.
Haruyoshi died on December 30 at 8:30 p.m. He was getting more and more tired and weak, but he was speaking to us, and his sudden death surprised us. Gilles, Serge, and myself were present, and Sylvie joined us when we noticed that his condition was changing. We were around him as he took his last breath. We held hands to do an energy circle with him and spent a long time meditating.
Le médecin est venu constater son décès. Serge et Gilles l'ont habillé selon mes souhaits, une veste de kekogi, un pantalon de tai chi, sa ceinture de pratique du sabre. Nous avons choisi de le veiller toute la nuit, son corps recouvert d'un linceul blanc. Il est parti pour la chambre funéraire le lendemain matin, le 31, à 8h30.
The doctor came to confirm his death. Serge and Gilles dressed him according to my wishes, a keikogi jacket, tai chi pants, and his sword practice belt. We chose to watch over him all night, his body covered in a white sheet. He left for the funeral home the next morning, the 31st, at 8:30 a.m.
Nous sommes tous les quatre allés pratiquer à la chapelle le matin du 31. Nous avons mis des bougies, avons chanté des kotodama comme il aimait le faire, puis avons fait Tenshi Koso en continu comme il nous l'avait enseigné et des coupes écho vers le sud.
The four of us went to practice at the chapel on the morning of the 31st, put candles, sang Kotadama as he liked to do, then did Tenshingoso continuously as he had taught us, and echo cut towards the south.
Dès que la nouvelle a été connue, nous avons reçu beaucoup de témoignages de personnes qui pratiquaient, qui faisaient des autels et des rituels pour honorer son départ. J'ai été réconfortée de constater que la communauté s'est mobilisée bien avant les cérémonies pour l'accompagner dans ce nouveau voyage.
As soon as the news was known, we received many testimonies from people who were practitioners, who were doing altars and rituals to honor his departure. I was heartened to see that the community mobilized well before the actual ceremonies to support him on this new journey.
Puis il y a eu le tribute généré par Connie et Sarah, où chacun pouvait y déposer des photos, des messages, des témoignages, et cela aussi a été très réconfortant. Non seulement pour moi, mais aussi pour tous. C'était très émouvant pour moi.
Then there was the tribute site organized by Connie and Sarah, where everyone could leave pictures, messages, testimonies, and that too was very comforting, not only for me, but also for everyone. It was very moving for me.
Nous n'avons pu aller au pont de Funède que le 2 janvier et la cérémonie a été programmée pour le 10 afin que les personnes désireuses de venir aient le temps de s'organiser.
We were only able to go to the funeral home on January 2nd, and the ceremony was scheduled for the 10th so that those wishing to come had time to organize themselves.
La cérémonie a commencé au funérarium pour la levée du corps. Il était important pour moi que ces nombreux amis et élèves venus de différentes parties de la France, mais aussi d'Angleterre, des États-Unis, d'Allemagne, du Québec, puissent le voir une dernière fois. C'est pourquoi j'avais choisi que le cercueil soit ouvert. J'ai déposé sur sa poitrine la très belle calligraphie du Sutra du cœur de notre amie Akiko, qu'elle avait fait dans l'intention que cette calligraphie l'accompagne dans son dernier voyage et que j'avais reçu le matin même.
The ceremony began at the funeral home for the removal of the body. It was important for me that his many friends and students who came from different parts of France, but also from England, the United States, Germany, and Quebec, could see him one last time. This is why I chose for the coffin to be open. I placed on his chest a very beautiful calligraphy of the Heart Sutra made by our friend Akiko, with the intention that it would accompany him on his last journey, and which I had received that very morning.
Les personnes sont entrées petit à petit sur la musique du Dalai Lama, chantant, excuse me, a beautiful mantra. Excuse me, I cannot pronounce it. C'était un moment très intense. Certaines personnes se sont approchées pour le regarder, se recueillir. D'autres sont restées un peu plus loin, toujours avec autant d'intensité dans le recueillement. Minagawa Sensei s'est assis de l'autre côté du corps de mon cher époux. Je sentais son énergie. Puis il s'est approché du cercueil et il a exécuté Tenshin Goso en silence. Certaines personnes se sont jointes à lui.
People entered little by little to the music of the Dalai Lama chanting a very beautiful mantra. It was a very intense moment. Some people came closer to look at him, to reflect. Others stayed a little further away, still with the same intensity in meditation. Minagawa Sensei sat on the other side of my dear husband's body. I felt his energy. Then he approached the coffin and performed Tenshin Goso in silence. Some people joined him.
Puis le cercueil a été fermé, emmené dans le fourgon funéraire, et nous sommes tous partis pour le crématorium. C'est au cours de cette cérémonie que les messages qui vont être lus ont été délivrés.
Then the coffin was closed, taken into the funeral van, and we all left for the crematorium. It was during this ceremony that the messages which are going to be read again today were delivered.
La chorale de Blois, dont je faisais partie, a chanté Sakura en son hommage, chanson traditionnelle japonaise qu'il était venu chanter avec nous.
The brass choir, of which I was a member, sang Sakura in tribute to him, a traditional Japanese song that he had come to sing with us.
Puis, Minagawa Sensei, à qui Haruyoshi avait demandé de mener la cérémonie Shintaido, s'est approché et a fait Tenshingoso, la méditation des 10 positions, en restant plus longtemps sur Kongo-hi, puis pendant le diaporama Taikimai. Pratiquants comme non pratiquants ont participé. C'était un moment très doux. Je sentais combien nous étions tous en communion avec notre cher défunt. Les gens étaient graves mais souriaient. Ils retrouvaient ces moments joyeux avec lui.
Then Minagawa Sensei, whom Haruyoshi had asked to lead the Shintaido ceremony, approached and did Tenshingoso, the 10-position meditation, staying longer in Kongo-i, then Taikimai during the slideshow. Practitioners and non-practitioners alike participated. It was a very sweet moment. I felt how much we were all in communion with our dear deceased. People were serious but smiling. They found again these joyful moments they had had with him.
Aki nous a chanté la comptine japonaise Gin Gin Gira Gira, que mon époux utilisait comme kotodama pour dire au revoir à ses amis ou élèves défunts. Ce fut un moment de fort partage joyeux.
Aki invited us to sing the Japanese nursery rhyme, Gin Gin Gira Gira, which my husband used as kotodama to say goodbye to his deceased friends or students. It was a great moment of joyful sharing.
Puis je me suis approchée du cercueil pour lui dire au revoir.
Then I approached the coffin to say goodbye.
La troisième partie de cette cérémonie s'est déroulée à la chapelle sur Heureuse. C'était le lieu de sa pratique et de ses méditations pour les défunts amis et parents, et nous avons pratiqué ensemble sous le goret de Minagawa Sensei.
The third part of this ceremony took place at La Chapelle-sur-Heureuse. It was the place where he practiced and meditated for deceased friends and relatives, and we practiced there together under the glory of Minagawa Sensei.
À l'intérieur de la chapelle, nous avons fait Tenshingoso en silence. Puis, avec le son A, E, Ito, et puis Minagawa Sensei nous a enseigné une partie du sutra du cœur que nous avons répété. Gatte, gatte, paragatte, parasamgatte, bodhisvaha. À l'extérieur, nous avons pratiqué les 8 coupes du diamant et enfin le Tenshingoso. La belle pratique proposée par Minagawa Sensei nous a réunis comme un seul corps, un seul cœur, pour notre sensei et mon époux.
Inside the chapel, we did Tenshingoso in silence, then with the sound, A, E, Ito, Then Minagawa Sensei taught us part of the Heart Sutra, which we repeated, Gatte, Gatte, Paragatte, Parasamgatte, Bodhisvaha. Outside, we practiced Diamond 8 cuts and finally Tenshingoso. The beautiful practice proposed by Minagawa Sensei brought us together as one body, one heart for our sensei and my husband.
Nous avons terminé la journée chez nous. J'avais invité toutes les personnes qui le souhaitaient à nous y rejoindre. Ce fut pour moi un moment de grâce que de pouvoir honorer un plaisir si souvent répété de mon cher époux, celui d'accueillir chez lui, dans sa maison, la famille, ses amis ou ses élèves, pour partager un bon repas et une bonne discussion.
We ended the day at home. I invited everyone who wanted to join us there. It was a moment of grace for me to be able to honor a pleasure so often reiterated by my dear husband, that of welcoming into his home his family, his friends, or his students to share a good meal or a good discussion.
Merci Jean-Louis. Merci Connie de m'avoir donné un espace de parole.
Thank you,
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Connie, for giving me this space to speak.
Thank you, Nicole. And as we proceed with our program, I'll be reading some comments that were prepared by Ulla. I know we all are sending our best wishes for a speedy and full recovery for her. We'll then be doing a slideshow, and Sylvie will be reading some of the words that she shared during the ceremony. Then there'll be an opportunity for 5 people who are represented speakers, followed by an open sharing. All right. So I know that Ulla sends her wishes that she could be here. These are the comments that she prepared as an overview on HF Ito. Haruyoshi Fugaku Ito was born in Hiroshima, Japan in 1942. He went to Chuo University in Tokyo and graduated with a degree in law. While at university, he began training in Shotokai karate with Shigeru Igami, and at 21 was awarded the top Shotokai rank of 5th Dan.
Haruyoshi Fugaku Ito est né à Hiroshima, au Japon, en 1942. Il a étudié à l'université Chuo de Tokyo et il a obtenu un diplôme en droit. Pendant ses études universitaires, il a commencé à s'entraîner au karaté Shotokai avec Shigeru Egami, et à 21 ans, il a obtenu le grade Shotokai le plus élevé, le 5e dan.
In the 1960s, following Shigeru Igami's wishes, Ito collaborated closely with Hiroshi Aoki and the Rakutenkai group in researching methods for creating a unified martial art, Sogo Budo. In 1970, Ito founded the Sogo Budo Remi, which became Shintaido Kyokai. From 1975, he was one of Shintaido's most energetic itinerant teachers, traveling the globe in his tireless quest to spread Shintaido on the world stage. In the mid-1970s, Ito was a founder member of Shintaido in the US, United States, and United Kingdom. In 2001, he founded the Global Taimyo Network for Peace.
Dans les années 60, suivant les souhaits de Shigeru Egami, Ito a collaboré étroitement avec Haruyoshi Aoki et le groupe Rakutenkai dans la recherche de méthodes pour créer un art martial unifié, le Sogo Budo. En 1970, Ito fonde la Sogo Budo Renmei, qui deviendra la Shintaido Kaiokai. À partir de 1975, il est l'un des enseignants itinérants les plus énergiques du Shintaido, parcourant le monde dans sa quête inlassable pour répandre le Shintaido sur la scène mondiale. Au milieu des années 1970, Ito a été l'un des membres fondateurs du Shintaido aux États-Unis et au Royaume-Uni. En 2001, il a fondé le Global Taimyo Network for Peace.
In 2006, Ito was hospitalized after a severe stroke. With his characteristic determination, he found his own way to rehabilitate and recover his body. After this experience, he understood that physical limitations need not be a barrier to the practice of body movement, and adapted forms to make them more accessible. After his recovery, he continued to travel the world to fulfill his busy schedule of teaching. He led seminars in Shintaido, life exercise, Ama massage, Wu-style Tai Chi, Qigong, and conflict resolution in the United States, Canada, throughout Europe, and in Japan.
En 2006, Ito a été hospitalisé à la suite d'une grave attaque cérébrale. Avec la détermination qui le caractérise, il a trouvé son propre moyen de rééducation et de récupération de son corps. Après cette expérience, il a compris que les limitations physiques ne devaient pas être un obstacle à la pratique du mouvement corporel. Et il a adapté les formes pour les rendre plus accessibles. Après sa guérison, il a continué à voyager dans le monde entier pour remplir son programme d'enseignement très chargé. Il a dirigé des séminaires de Shintaido, d'exercices de vie, de massage ama, de tai chi style Wu, de Qigong et de résolution de conflits aux États-Unis et au Canada, en Europe et au Japon.
Over his lifetime, Ito has been a tireless supporter of Shintaido communities worldwide, for individuals, groups, and as a mentor for the international organization. He always took care to appreciate the contribution of people who worked for the organization and community, teachers and managers alike. Ito often spoke about the heart of our practice and maintaining a strong center. He valued the dignity of the person, service to one another, the connection to Ten, and care of the earth.
Tout au long de sa vie, Ito a soutenu sans relâche les communautés de Shintaido dans le monde entier, pour les individus, les groupes et en tant que mentor pour l'organisation internationale. Il a toujours pris soin d'apprécier la contribution des personnes qui travaillaient pour l'organisation et la communauté, qu'il s'agisse d'enseignants ou de responsables. Ito parlait souvent du cœur de notre pratique et du maintien d'un centre fort. Il accordait de l'importance à la dignité de la personne, au service des autres, à la connexion avec Ten et à la protection de la Terre.
Today is our turn to appreciate and honor him, our sensei and our dear friend. We invite you to enjoy an Okinawa song that begins a montage of photographs and videos from Ito's life. During the montage, we'll also hear from Sylvia Alexander, who is a longtime friend of Ito and Nicole, and who has studied with Ito most of her life. She'll present a message to us in French with translation into English by Jean-Louis.
Aujourd'hui, c'est à notre tour de l'apprécier et d'honorer, lui, notre sensei et notre ami. Nous vous invitons à écouter une chanson d'Okinawa qui commence un montage de photos et de vidéos de la vie d'Ito. Pendant le montage, nous entendrons également Sylvie Alexandre, une amie de longue date d'Ito et de Nicole, qui a étudié avec Ito pendant la plus grande partie de sa vie. Elle nous présentera un message en français que je traduirai en anglais.
Bonsoir à tous, bonjour à tous. Je suis ici devant vous, non pas pour vous parler d'Ito Sensei, non pas pour parler d'Ito Sensei, mais pour délivrer les messages qu'il avait choisi de nous transmettre le jour où ce moment arriverait.
Okay, good evening to all. I'm here in front of you not to talk about Ito Sensei, but to deliver the message he chose to pass on to us the day this moment would arrive.
Il existe une tradition littéraire au Japon nommée Jiseiku. Le Jiseiku est une manière traditionnelle de laisser un dernier message dans ce monde, généralement écrit sous la forme d'un poème ou d'un haïku. Ito préférait parler d'un résumé de vie.
There is a literary tradition in Japan called Jiseiku. Jiseiku is the traditional way of leaving a last message in this world, usually written in the form of a poem or a haiku. Ito preferred to speak of a summary of life.
En premier lieu, ce que son nom, Haruyoshi Fugaku Ito, lui avait appris. Ses parents l'ont prénommé Haruyoshi. Haru signifie printemps et Yoshi, droiture. Fugaku est le nom d'artiste qu'il a reçu d'Aoki Sensei durant la période de la Rakuten Kai. Le fu de Fugaku est privatif, comme dans impossible qui rend non possible, ou dans incroyable qui rend non croyable. Gaku signifie apprendre, c'est-à-dire étudier intellectuellement ou logiquement par le langage. Fugaku signifie donc étudier sans intellect. Voici ce que ce prénom Fugaku a signifié pour lui, je le cite. Ne dépend pas simplement de ta compréhension intellectuelle du monde. Trouve la vérité en étudiant l'univers à travers le mouvement de ton corps. Je partage cela avec vous comme un principe de vie utile.
To start with, what his name, Haruyoshi Fugaku Ito, had taught him, his parents named him Haruyoshi. Haru means spring, and Yoshi means righteousness. Fugaku is the artist name he received from Aoki Sensei during the Rakuten Kai period. The fu in Fugaku is privative, as in impossible, which makes it not possible, or incredible, which makes it not believable. Gaku means to learn, to study intellectually or logically through language. Fugaku means to study without intellect. This is what the name Fugaku meant to him, and this is a quote. Don't just rely on your intellectual understanding of the world. Find the truth by studying the universe through the movement of your body. I share this with you as a useful principle of life. End of quote.
Quand une personne décédait, nous entendions Ito Sensei dire « Bon voyage », car il était persuadé qu'un autre voyage commençait. Pour illustrer, Ito Sensei a choisi une citation issue du film The Broken Trail, où Robert Duval disait « We are all travelers in this world, from the sweet grass to the packing house, birth until death. We travel between the eternities. » Nous sommes tous des voyageurs dans ce monde, de l'herbe douce à l'emballage, de la naissance à la mort. Nous voyageons entre les éternités.
When someone died, we heard Ito Sensei say, Bon voyage, because he was convinced that another journey was beginning. To illustrate this, Ito Sensei chose a quote from the film The Broken Trail, in which Robert Duval said, We are all travelers in this world, from the sweet grass to the packing house, birth until death. We travel between the eternities.
En dernier message, Ito Sensei a souhaité que le poème de sa maman soit dit. Celui-ci concerne le principe japonais daiga, qui signifie parcourir l'univers, et Ito Sensei pensait que sa mère avait eu un aperçu de daiga. Le poème que sa maman a écrit est « Après ma mort commencera le voyage dans l'univers ». Ito Sensei nous souhaite à tous de trouver ce genre de compréhension dans notre propre pratique.
As a final message, Ito Sensei asked that his mother's poem be recited. This is about the Japanese principle daiga, which means to travel the universe, and Ito Sensei thought that his mother had had a glimpse of daiga. The poem his mom wrote is, After my death, the journey through the universe will begin. Ito Sensei wishes all us all to find this kind of understanding in our own practice.
Thank you, Sylvie. As we move forward, we'll be having some selected speakers. There's 5 of us, and I will again be speaking for Ula. Thank you very much for everyone being here. I'm going to proceed with my message, and Jean-Louis continues to assist with translation. I am honored to be able to speak for a few moments about the remarkable man, H.F. Ito. I am summarizing some of the comments I made during the 10 January funeral when I represented the Shintaido of America members and the members of the International Technical and Examination Committee. H.F. Ito arrived in the United States in 1975. He exemplifies a lifelong learner and teacher. He loves Shintaido and traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States, plus Canada, to share his latest inspirations. While in the United States and Canada, he embraced big nature through scuba diving, hiking in the mountains, kayaking, and even attempting to learn golf.
Chers amis, je suis honoré de pouvoir parler un instant de cet homme remarquable, H.F. Ito. Je résume certains des commentaires que j'ai faits lors des funérailles du 10 janvier, lorsque je représentais les membres de Shintaido of America et les membres du Comité international pour la technique et les examens. H.F. Ito est arrivé aux États-Unis en 1975. Il est l'exemple d'un apprenant et d'un enseignant permanent. Il adorait le Shintaido et voyageait de la côte est à la côte ouest des États-Unis, en passant par le Canada, pour partager ses dernières inspirations. Aux États-Unis et au Canada, il a adopté la grande nature en faisant de la plongée sous-marine, de la randonnée en montagne, du kayak et même en essayant d'apprendre le golf.
Massage was an early love of his, and he initially taught at AMA Institute, San Francisco, then in Quebec at La Attitude, and the Wellness Resource Center in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. Another strong interest was celebrating end of life. For 10 years, he taught Shintaido to hospice caregivers in the San Francisco Bay Area. He lived a life that acknowledged mortality, which meant being present in this moment of living. His smile reflected this enjoyment of life.
Le massage était l'une de ses premières passions et il a d'abord enseigné à l'AMA Institute de San Francisco, puis à l'Attitude au Québec et au Wellness Resource Center de Dartmouth dans le Massachusetts. Un autre de ses grands intérêts était la célébration de la fin de la vie. Pendant 10 ans, il a enseigné le Shintaido aux soignants de la région de la baie de San Francisco. Il a vécu une vie qui reconnaissait la mortalité, ce qui signifiait être présent à ce moment de la vie. Son sourire reflétait cette joie de vivre.
I am grateful that Nicole and Ito hosted me for a visit in early November. I am grateful to Nicole for the cozy, warm home life in their new home. My last memory is Ito giving me a warm farewell as I prepared to leave. His getting dressed very early on that morning, sitting with me at breakfast, making rice balls, then standing in the doorway and giving the Japanese wave goodbye until we were out of sight. Thank you, Nicole, for giving Ito your loving care and your love as his wife and valued Shintaido partner.
Je suis reconnaissante que Nicole et Ito m'aient accueilli pour une visite début novembre. Je suis reconnaissante à Nicole pour la vie chaleureuse et confortable dans leur nouvelle maison. Mon dernier souvenir est celui d'Ito me faisant ses adieux chaleureux alors que je me préparais à partir. Il s'est habillé très tôt ce matin-là, s'est assis avec moi au petit déjeuner, a préparé des boulettes de riz. Puis il s'est tenu à la porte et m'a dit au revoir à la japonaise jusqu'à ce que nous soyons hors de vue. Merci Nicole d'avoir donné à Ito tes soins affectueux et ton amour en tant qu'épouse et partenaire apprécié du Shintaido.
And as we pause for a moment and breathe, I'm now going to again be speaking on behalf of Ula Chambers and her message that she delivered. Ula was speaking and representing British Shintaido and the European Shintaido members.
Donc je parle maintenant aujourd'hui au nom des membres du Shintaido britannique et européen.
Ito was our sensei and our friend. He had a wonderful missionary spirit, enjoying making connections between people and taking the time to get to know individuals and their lives.
Ito était notre sensei et notre ami. Il avait un merveilleux esprit missionnaire, aimait établir des liens entre les gens et prenait le temps de connaître les individus et leur vie.
He traveled widely throughout Europe, generously sharing Shintaido, Ama, and Tai Chi practice wherever he was. He could always be relied on to offer his support and encouragement, to share practical ideas and his wisdom. Even a few days before he died, Ito was contacting people with ideas to support their personal practice and development.
Il a beaucoup voyagé à travers l'Europe, partageant généreusement la pratique du Shintaido, de l'Ama et du Tai Chi partout où il se trouvait. On pouvait toujours compter sur lui pour offrir son soutien et ses encouragements, pour partager des idées pratiques et sa sagesse. Même quelques jours avant sa mort, Ito contactait des gens avec des idées pour soutenir leurs pratiques et leur développement personnel.
Our bodies that have studied from him have echoes of Ito's voice, his touch, his gore, his look.
Nos corps, qui ont étudié avec lui, ont des échos de la voix d'Ito, de son toucher, de son goré, de son regard.
His message was one of community, of peace and love, of deepening our ability and becoming our best selves. We remember him in our past and present and carry him into the future.
Son message était un message de communauté, de paix, d'amour, d'approfondissement de nos capacités et de devenir le meilleur de nous-mêmes. Nous nous souvenons de lui dans notre passé et notre présent et le portons dans le futur.
Thank you again, Jean-Louis.
Welcome.
Our next speaker is Tomi Nagarote, speaking about the Taimyo global community. Tomi, welcome.
Thank you, Connie. My heart is so full after watching the photos and the video, so I will try to speak from the heart. I think the global Taimyo community became a kind of vessel that held Ito's peace work. It was the vessel for his writings on peace. It was the vessel for his Taimyo teaching. And he loved everyone who participated so much. And when I say peace, I mean not just peace of mind, I mean peace as connecting deeply to people, connecting people to one another relentlessly. I'm sure we've all experienced Ito connecting us to somebody on the other side of the world. And most importantly, he modeled what is required to create a foundation for real peace. In 2007, Ito and Minagawa Sensei accepted an invitation from Kaz Tanahashi, who is joining us today, to join a Nanjing apology trip. and conference. And if you've seen the interview video with them, it was an incredible example of how to encounter people and how to heal from violence. And I really feel that Ito's legacy is creating an opening for us to do the same. And I feel like for myself, I need to offer myself, I need to encounter people that my nation has colonized and enslaved, to connect deeply in the example of Ito and Mitagawa sensei, to apologize and to offer personal reparations and support reparations from my nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tomi. Next, let me invite Kalile to join us. Kalile will be speaking about the many areas of life exercise, Tai Chi, massage, Taimyo, and Shintaido. Welcome, Kalile, and thank you, Jean-Louis, for continuing with your translation.
Merci, Connie. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Je suis très honorée de témoigner aujourd'hui du parcours et des activités de Ito Sensei en France et de l'œuvre qu'il a léguée à travers ce qu'il a lui-même dénommé Life Exercises, exercices de vie.
Hello, everyone. I am very honored to be here today to talk about Ito Sensei's career and activities in France and the work he transmitted through what he called himself life exercises.
Life Exercise regroupe un éventail extrêmement riche de pratiques et de techniques complémentaires qui s'étendent à l'aspect martial, méditatif et de santé. Ce programme inclut le Shintaido à main nue, le Boken, le Tai Chi style Wu, le Qigong, ainsi que des techniques de soins intégrales du corps, pratiques sur chaise, étirement, automassage, amashiatsu, SoA et Feldenkrais, entre autres. Cet ensemble a été inspiré par la vie riche que Ito Sensei a menée et nourri par ses multiples expériences interculturelles dans tous les pays où il a enseigné, et particulièrement le Japon où il est né, la France et les États-Unis où il a vécu longtemps.
Life exercises brings together an extremely rich range of complementary practices and techniques, covering martial, meditative, and health aspects. The program includes Beihan Shintaido, Bokan, Wu-style Tai Chi, Qigong, and whole-body techniques such as chair practice, stretching, self-massage, amashiatsu, sotais, Feldenkrais, and others. His collection has been inspired by the rich life Ito Sensei has led and nourished by his many intercultural experiences in all the countries where he has taught, and particularly in Japan, where he was born, and in France and the USA, where he lived for a long time.
Au cœur de Life Exercise, il y avait naturellement l'amour d'Ito Sensei pour le Shintaido, dont il n'a eu de cesse de faire évoluer sa compréhension et de développer l'art de l'enseigner. Dans son intérêt pour le corps et ses techniques de soins, Ito Sensei avait étudié il y a fort longtemps le shiatsu auprès de Egami Sensei. Et plus tard, c'est avec David Palmer, au Québec, qu'il a appris la forme Ama. C'est d'abord au sein de la Fédération française de Shintaido à Poissy que Ito Sensei a enseigné le Amashiatsu, puis au sein de l'association Ama France avec sa compagne Nicole.
At the heart of life exercises, of course, was Ito Sensei's love of Shintaido, whose understanding he never ceased to evolve and whose art of teaching he never ceased to develop. In his interest in the body and its healing techniques, Ito Sensei had long ago studied shiatsu with Igami Sensei. He later learned the Ama form from David Palmer in Quebec. It was through the association Ama France that Ito Sensei began teaching and transmitting Ama shiatsu with his partner Nicole.
Au début des années 2000, suite à d'importants problèmes de santé, Ito Sensei avait ressenti le besoin d'aller vers une pratique plus douce et suivant le conseil de son maître Egami, qui en fin de vie lui avait dit « Trouve un bon professeur de Qigong ». Après l'avoir longtemps cherché, il a eu l'opportunité de rencontrer Maître Ma. Celui-ci enseignait le Tai Chi style Wu et le Qigong à Pékin en Chine. C'est ainsi qu'avec cet esprit de l'éternel débutant, Sensei est parti étudier le Tai Chi et le Qigong à Pékin auprès de ce maître. Cette rencontre a été fondamentale et a marqué un tournant dans sa recherche. Il s'est mis dès lors à pratiquer assidûment le Tai Chi style Wu et le Qigong, tout en rencontrant Maître Ma tous les 2 ans environ, soit à Pékin, soit à Tokyo.
In the early 2000s, following serious health problems, he felt the need to move towards a gentler practice. Following the advice of his master Igami, who told him at the end of his life, find a good Qigong teacher. After a long search, he had the opportunity to meet Master Ma. Ma taught Wu-style Tai Chi and Qigong in Beijing, China. So, in the spirit of the eternal beginner, Ito Sensei went to Beijing to study Tai Chi and Qigong with his master. This encounter was fundamental and marked a turning point in his research. From then on, he practiced Wu-style Tai Chi and Qigong assiduously, meeting Master Ma every 2 years or so, either in Beijing or in Tokyo.
Ito Sensei a trouvé dans le Tai Chi et le Qigong, enseigné par Maître Ma, une évolution naturelle de sa pratique, du fait que leurs mouvements et principes se mariaient bien avec sa longue expérience du karaté et du Shintaïdo. Les mouvements doux et lents, l'invitant à la fluidité, la souplesse et la détente. Et très rapidement, selon l'un de ses adages favoris, plus tu partages, plus tu apprends. The more you share, the more you learn. Il se mit à transmettre la quintessence de ses apprentissages dans une quête d'exploration intensive.
Ito Sensei found Tai Chi and Qigong a natural evolution, as their movements and principles blended well with his long experience of karate and Shintaïdo. The gentle, slow movements inviting fluidity, suppleness, and relaxation. Very soon, following one of his favorite adages, the more you share, the more you learn, he set about passing on the quintessence of what he had learned in a quest for intensive exploration.
C'est notamment dans le sud de la France, au Centre d'art corporel créé par Philippe Beauvois, qui s'est ensuite transformé en Institut des nuages flottants lorsque Philippe s'est retiré de l'organisation des stages, que Ito Sensei a enseigné Life Exercise. Durant plus de 20 ans, il a transmis ses découvertes, partagé ses inspirations et affiné sa pédagogie, Philippe lui ayant laissé carte blanche pour décider de son enseignement. Comme il le disait lui-même, ce dojo du sud de la France était son laboratoire en recherche et développement. Et nous, les pratiquants, ses cobayes.
It was notably in the south of France at the Centre d'Art Corporel created by Philippe Beauvois, which later became the Institut des Nuages Flottants, when Philippe withdrew from organizing workshops, that Ito Sensei taught life exercises. For over 20 years, he passed on discoveries, shared his inspiration, and refined his teaching, Philippe having given him carte blanche to decide on his teaching. As he said himself, this dojo in the south of France was his R&D laboratory, and we, the practitioners, his guinea pigs.
4 stages annuels au rythme des saisons, printemps, été, automne, hiver, lui permettait d'explorer de nouveaux champs, de créer librement et d'expérimenter ses découvertes pour le bonheur de tous. Si l'ambiance était très conviviale et joyeuse, elle n'en était pas moins très studieuse. Parallèlement, Ito Sensei développait aussi ses recherches avec un groupe d'élèves, dont certains venaient aussi dans le sud, lors de stages réguliers dans la région de Blois, où il vivait avec Nicole, et plus récemment à Cuy, en région Bourgogne.
4 annual workshops in tune with the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, allowed him to explore new fields, create freely, and experiment with his discoveries to everyone's delight. While the atmosphere was convivial and joyful, it was also very studious. At the same time, Ito Sensei was also developing his research with a group of students, some of whom also came to the south for regular workshops in the Blois region where he lived with Nicole, and more recently in Cuy, in Burgundy region of France.
Cet hommage serait incomplet si j'omettais de parler aussi de sa participation au sein de la communauté Taïmyo pour la paix, qui est très active en France, ainsi que le soin qu'il accordait aux personnes en fin de vie et aux défunts en proposant des rituels d'accompagnement.
This tribute would be incomplete if I omitted to mention his involvement in the Tamio for Peace community, which is very active in France as well, and the care he gave to people at the end of life and to the deceased by proposing rituals of accompaniment.
Au fur et à mesure des années, Ito Sensei a généré de plus en plus de ponts entre les différentes pratiques, jusqu'à presque effacer les frontières entre elles, aboutissant à une fusion, ce qu'il appelait lui-même la fusion d'Ito. Sa recherche a donné lieu à des formes très épurées, souples et fluides, associées à l'efficacité recherchée dans la pratique du Shintaido, dans un objectif de détente globale du corps et de l'esprit pour atteindre.
Over the years, Ito Sensei built more and more bridges between the various practices, almost erasing the boundaries between them, leading to a fusion, what he called the Ito fusion. His research gave rise to very pure, supple, and fluid form, combined with the efficiency sought in the practice of Shintaido, with the aim of overall relaxation of body and mind to achieve unification beyond conflict and peace.
Jean-Louis, it looks to me as if Sylvie or Clele has frozen. Oh, so she popped off.
Okay.
Did you want to continue reading?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
La vie d'Ito Sensei témoigne d'une remarquable évolution personnelle et d'une recherche perpétuelle qui est un exemple inspirant pour nous tous. Ito Sensei's life testifies to remarkable personal evolution and perpetual search that is an inspiring example for all of us. Avant de terminer, j'aimerais, au nom de la communauté Life Exercise, remercier et rendre hommage à sa compagne, Nicole, qui a accompagné et soutenu Ito Sensei durant toutes ces années et qui a grandement contribué au fait qu'Ito Sensei ait pu mener à bien ses recherches et nous léguer un ensemble de pratiques d'une richesse et d'une subtilité incroyable à travers Life Exercise. Before closing, I would like, on behalf of the Life community, to thank and pay tribute to his wife Nicole, who has accompanied and supported Ito Sensei throughout the years and who has greatly contributed to Ito Sensei's ability to carry out his research and to transmit to us a set of practices of incredible richness and subtlety through life exercises.
And it does look like Clele returned, so would you like to do the closing few sentences there, Clele?
Par son exemple, Ito Sensei nous invite à continuer notre pratique et notre quête pour un monde de paix. Merci Ito Sensei, merci.
Through
Merci,
his
Jean.
life example, Ito Sensei invites us to continue our practice and our quest for a world of peace. Thank you, Ito-sensei. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you again, Clele. Thank you, Jean-Louis. And I'd like to now invite Pierre Quittet to join us. Welcome, Pierre.
Thank you very much. Une impression marquante que me laisse Fugaku Sensei est sa capacité à se remettre en question. L'histoire du Shintaïdo français a été marquée de grandes joies, mais aussi de périodes de doute et de conflits. Et à certains moments, il nous est arrivé de nous trouver en désaccord sur certaines actions et d'en discuter de manière plutôt franche et directe. Plus tard, le temps passant, je me suis rendu compte qu'il ne m'en avait pas tenu rigueur et qu'il avait trouvé une manière de maintenir son action tout en tenant compte des différents avis. Fugaku était un sensei avec lequel on pouvait ne pas être d'accord. C'est en cela qu'il était un véritable homme de paix, je crois. Nous sommes tous pour la paix, en théorie, mais en pratique, dans telle situation ou dans telle autre, sommes-nous capables de nous remettre radicalement en question? Lui en était capable, en tout cas.
The striking impression that Fugaku Sensei leaves on me is his ability to question himself. The history of French Shintaio has been marked by great joys, but also periods of doubts and conflicts. At some of these times, we found ourselves disagreeing about certain actions and discussing them in rather frank and direct manner. Later on, as time passed, I realized that he found a way to maintain his action while taking into account the various standpoints. Fugaku Sensei, or was a sensei, you could disagree with. This is why he was a true man of peace. We are all for peace in theory, but in practice, in this situation or another, are we capable of radically questioning ourselves? He was capable of it.
Parmi les différents projets sur lesquels nous avons coopéré, j'aimerais témoigner de deux en particulier. Le projet Shakunetsu, de publication des témoignages des membres de la communauté Rakutenkai, et le projet pour un nouveau Kenjutsu.
Among the different projects on which we cooperated, I would like to talk about two in particular. The Shakunetsu project, publishing testimonies from members of the Rakutenkai community, and the new Kenjutsu project.
Il faut choisir un seul aspect du projet Shakunetsu le concernant. Je dirais que ce projet avait pour lui une valeur réparatrice. Il était triste de la dégradation des relations qu'il y avait pu avoir entre certains membres de la première génération, ses amis. Dans certains cas, il s'en sentait en partie responsable. C'est pourquoi, depuis le parcours du recueil des témoignages, jusqu'à la distribution de la version anglaise, en passant par toutes les étapes d'édition du texte, et il y en a eu de nombreuses, j'ai constamment senti chez lui ce désir de valorisation et de réparation du tissu relationnel abîmé par les égaux, dont le sien, en produisant un ouvrage au profit des nouvelles générations d'instructeurs. Là encore, il agissait en homme de paix.
To choose just one aspect of the Shakunetsu project, I would say that this project had a restorative value for him. He was saddened about the deterioration of relationship that had existed between certain members of the first generation, his friends. In some cases, he felt partly responsible. This is why, from the process of collecting testimonies to the recent distribution of the English version, through all the stages of editing the text, I constantly felt in him this desire to enhance and repair the relational fabric damaged by egos, including his own, by producing a book for the benefit of new generations of instructors. Here again, he acted as a man of peace.
Pour finir, j'ai été impressionné par la manière à la fois généreuse et sensible avec laquelle il a élaboré de nouvelles pratiques pour constituer le Kenjutsu et améliorer le Bojutsu, en collaboration avec Minagawa Sensei et aussi Okada Sensei. Au final, il nous laisse des outils d'une grande richesse conceptuelle et d'une grande précision. Le travail est toujours en cours et nous avions de nombreux projets de collaboration avec lui pour la diffusion de ce cursus. Nous allons continuer dans l'esprit Shintaido de sérieux et de grandeur qu'il avait impulsé, mais je dois dire que je me sens aujourd'hui, de ce point de vue-là, à la fois profondément orphelin et plein de gratitude. Merci.
Finally, I was very impressed by the generous and sensitive way in which he developed new practices to create Kenjutsu and improve Bojutsu in collaboration with Minagawa Sensei and also Okada Sensei. In the end, he leaves us with tools of great conceptual richness and great precision. The work is still in progress, and we had many collaborative projects with him for the dissemination of these programs. We will continue in the Shintaido spirit of seriousness and grandeur that he had inspired. But I must say that I feel today, from this point of view, both profoundly orphaned and full of gratitude. Thank you.
Merci, and thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Jean-Louis. You can read with me in your language of choice. This is a message that Aoki Sensei sent to Masashi and Nicole Beauvoir. Master Fugaku Ito has passed away after 82 years of his life. As someone who spent many years with him, I am deeply saddened by his departure. Ito had practiced and taught Shintaido for over 60 years, and I am sure that he achieved what he had longed for. I am also sure that the loss of Ito will be immeasurable for those who are left behind. I would like to extend my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family. At this sad time, I join you in cherishing his memory and hope his soul is at peace. I sincerely pray for Ito. May he rest in peace. Hiroyuki Aoki.
Maître Fugaku Ito est décédé après 82 ans de sa vie. Ayant passé de nombreuses années avec lui, je suis profondément attristé par son départ. Ito avait pratiqué et enseigné le Shintaido pendant plus de 60 ans, et je suis sûr qu'il avait réalisé ce qu'il désirait. Je suis également sûr que la perte d'Ito sera incommensurable pour ceux qui lui survivent. Je tiens à présenter mes plus sincères condoléances à sa famille. En ce triste moment, je me joins à vous pour chérir sa mémoire et espérer que son âme soit en paix. Je prie sincèrement pour Ito, qu'il repose en paix. Hiroyuki Aoki.
Thank you all. And now we move to a section of open sharing. There will not be any translation during this time. Kaz Tanahashi Sensei, your hand has been up, and I recognize you first.
Hi. My deep feelings to Nicole and all members of the Shintaido community. Ito Sensei and I have been friends for 47 years, more than half of my life.
Mm.
And American School of Japanese Art organized a Japanese art seminar in Green Gulch Farm, which is part of San Francisco Zen Center. Ito Sensei taught Shintaido, and then we have instructors for a tea ceremony, and then comical no theater, and I taught calligraphy. So 4 instructors continued teach once every summer for 17 years. So it was a great joy to teach with him, but also I became a student of Shintaido because when she was teaching, I was practicing. And then you must know that the United Nations was born in San Francisco. The UN Charter was signed in 1945 in the War Memorial Building in San Francisco. And Ito Sensei and then a lot of Shintaido people participated in creating a large multicolor circle and then says United Nations 50th anniversary. So that was 1995. So we did the paintings together and then Shintaido performance and drums. And then later we put up the paintings, five panels, and then top and bottom horizontal panels, United Nations 50th anniversary on the building where the UN Charter had been signed 50 years ago. So it was part of the United Nations official ceremony for celebration. So we did that together. And then when Ito Sensei was still in San Francisco and then moved to France, whenever he came to San Francisco, he was always kind of visiting my wife, Linda, and myself, always cheerful, always funny. We had always a great time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sensei. Lovely tribute. Connie, you have your hand up next.
Yes, thank you. I represent Shintaido Germany, and Shintaido Germany is an association, and it was founded in 2001. Back then, there was a quite official meeting with an agenda and minutes and all that. And right in the middle of that meeting, there was Ito Sensei. We asked him if we should translate for him, and he said, "Oh, no, it's okay, I can follow." And then he sat there with us, with his legs on his chair, and he closed his eyes for 2 hours. Maybe he was sleeping, we never knew, but he was there, just like he was always there for us and with us. In 1988, Ito Sensei was invited to Germany for the very first time. He ran a workshop and attracted everyone who knew Shintaido at that time from somewhere. And because of Ito, they found each other. And after that, he came to Germany almost every year. Only once in the last 35 years, he canceled. Ito and Nicole were completely trapped by an extreme flooding in France. And there was no more gas in the gas stations in France. So it took a natural disaster and an economic crisis at the same time to stop Ito Sensei. He always had a rich and meaningful program for us. He taught us how to understand the world through Shintaido. He answered each of our questions with equal intensity. He taught us how to improve. Ito himself never stopped learning, and then he shared his latest understanding with us. Of course, he prepared small pieces, so we were able to get his point. Ito Sensei was our center, our master, and our compass, our friend. And we miss him a lot. Our next Gasshuku in June will happen without him. And right now, We don't really know how to continue with Shintaido Germany, but we are positive and very, very confident that Ito has taught us everything we need to keep going. Thank you, Ito. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Jennifer.
So, hi, Nicole, and everyone. My deepest condolences to us all for the loss. I'm one of those people who met Ito in the exact environment that Cass just explained. In 2001, I walked unknowingly into the San Francisco Zen Center to one of those summers, and that's how I met Nicole and Ito. And because I did that, I've gotten the blessing of getting to know all of you through more than 20 years of all of you, and bringing Shintaido back to New York and reviving it from where Lulia had left off, going to Pacific Tangeko and Shintaido Northeast. And I spoke to him on December 18th for an hour and had an enormous visit with him, which was fantastic. And I was so taken by surprise when he died just a couple days later, because it was such a vibrant conversation and he was still trying to connect me with people. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. And I brought, to end my comments, because I wanted to keep them brief, the lyrics of Stephen Schwartz from Wicked, from the song I've Been Changed for Good, and just wanted to read you a few of them because I think they're poignant for us all. I've been listening to the song all week. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart, and now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine because by being my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. David.
Hello, everybody. I'm speaking on behalf partly of Shintaido, Czech Republic, where I live and teach. So it's good to see all of you and share this moment of appreciation. I met Ito Sensei in, I think it was 1984, when I missed my ride to a Gasshuku and had to get there on my bicycle. Quite simply said, for me, you know, Ito Sensei was, for many of us, really a bridge between Japanese traditional martial arts culture and this rather insane project of Shintaido, and trying to introduce it to America. You know, I think it took a lot of guts. It took a lot of guts for Ito Sensei to collaborate with somebody like Michael Thompson to start Shintaido in America. It took a lot of guts on both sides for Michael to collaborate with someone like Ito also, I think. And everybody in the Czech Republic who I teach, only a few of them have met Ito, but everybody has benefited from that bridging. So good to see you all. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Alon.
Bonjour. Je ne suis pas sûr que je puisse compter sur une traduction compte tenu du temps que nous avons. Alors, je vais essayer en anglais. Désolé pour vous. Sorry for you, I will try in English. So, I met Ito Sensei for first time in 1982. And it has been a good, really big luck, because I don't know what happened without meeting him at that time. You may know or not, but the beginning of Shintaido in France was very enthusiastic and at the same time totally chaotic. And when I became orphan, as Pierre said, for the first time with my Mark Bassis. So I remember of Ito Sensei and the really strong impression he made to me. And I went to USA to meet him. And at that time, I came from my life, I came from karate. But when I met Shintaido, Sogobudo at that time, I was so enthusiastic. I said, I don't want no more heard of Budo martial arts, because in my brain it was too strong. But Ito Sensei gave me confidence I should keep going with martial art aspect. So as we have so few time, I remember Ito Sensei once said to us, "Oh, you take care of the beginning and the end." So I go to the end, and I had a project to introduce Shoshinokon, is a keiko, kata he produced for Bojutsu. And so I started to work with him, and I still have, and I remember the last time I saw him in maybe October, November, and I had the same experience as you, Connie, when he said hello, because he received us in their new home, and as always, he made cooking, and it was so friendly, and it was just fantastic. And I met him, and I had appointment later to meet him again in January. So the point is, we will never have this kind of appointment, of course. But the impression I have, because I had a lot of questions to ask him. And what I want to say, for me, since it's like if I have the answer of the question I have. So it gave me some confidence for all of us that he can still answer to the question we have. And so I'm confident we can keep going with his strong inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, Alain. Gary and Jerry.
Hello, and thank you for this wonderful service. I sure appreciate these memories. I first met Ito at 1984 at the Ama Institute of Traditional Japanese Massage. And he taught many of our practitioners who were practicing chair massage in the workplace how to better take care of ourselves when we were moving around the chair, massaging people. Fast forward many, many years later, whenever Ito and Nicole would come to San Francisco, they would come to our home and teach us a short form of Tai Chi that he had learned from Master Ma. And we will always remember and appreciate those times together that we spent with Ito and Nicole. And we continue to thank them as we practice our short kata in the park here on Bainbridge Island every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Robert and Sandra.
Hi, this is Sandra. I just wanted, we know Ito was great. He was great in that he understood greatness. He understood the greatness of nature, the greatness of people, and the greatness of life. But I strongly feel his greatness was that he believed we could be great also.
Hmm.
And so I feel like the best way to honor him is to believe that we can be great because he believed we could be.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. David Zergani.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Wonderful to be here. Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple things. One, I just so appreciate the relationship that I had with Ito Sensei. And one thing was that I experienced with him was this incredible capacity to use the form, to go beyond the form. And I think of that in a lot of different ways. But when I first met Ito Sensei, it was in 1988. I was living in my van. I actually I moved to San Francisco to study with him. And I stayed for 33 years in San Francisco. But during that time, deeply involved with Shintaido, but then my practice led me in other directions. And the thing with Ito Sensei was that he supported me no matter what. And even though I was spending less and less time actually formally practicing Shintaido, he and I stayed in contact, and our relationship took on a completely different quality. And I could have never anticipated that that would have ever happened. Having met him when I was in my 20s. And anyway, it just speaks to something that I just felt so much deep, sincere support from him up until the end. And I just feel tremendous gratitude for that. And anyway, I'll just, as I was sitting here, I kind of, some words came to mind, and I'll just share this little bit. This is something that I wrote, and it's kind of in memory of all the keiko that we did out at Ocean Beach in San Francisco that Ito Sensei led. And the words that came to me are, vast as this sky, deep as this ocean, together we open, together we breathe, together we return to the stillness which does not die. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Before I go to Nicole for our last few words from here, is there anyone else that is that Yuriko?
Okay. I have a theater company. I started in San Francisco. And then, but this first time I met Ito Sensei is at the Zen Center. We are teaching. And then I was teaching Japanese Do and Kyogen. And then he was, so anyway, I learned that Tenshin Goso he was teaching. That was just wonderful. So that was, I brought it in, and then every hour rehearsal, first thing started from Tenshin Goso. Then that was really feel that developing and opening up, mind. And then so I am really appreciated. But this he helped us, theater at my theater company called Theater of Yugen. And then we have a small theater. It's called No Space, small theater. No space, double meaning, NOH, but there is no space. So small theater, 78 capacity. But he was using the space as his rehearsal to exercise. So he knows very well that no space. Can you hear me? My voice is a little.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just, I really have so much good memory with him. And then especially when we came from Japan, and then the way was we learned from teacher is a totally different way. We are, always was teacher was said, only pick up no, 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 and corrected no, no, no. And then both of us, Ito sensei also, we started that way, the no, that's not good, no, no. And then we realized that's the way it's wrong, in the United States. We have to praise them first, So we learned, both of us said, same things. We have to first praise the student, otherwise they leave next day, So that was this interesting thing we did. But Ito Sensei was just a wonderful person and really warm, the inside. So anyway, it was still what is he taught us, and it's still going on in no space in San Francisco. What is Tenshin Goso we do every time before the rehearsal. So every time. So I hope he did help us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jot Carr, am I saying your name correctly, has her hand up.
Yes, my name is Jocelyn Sbrava.
Ah.
Yes,
Thank you.
a spiritual name, Jot Carr. J'ai commencé en 1980 à Bristol à pratiquer le Shintaido avec Ito et Okada Sensei. Et en fait, je vais parler du dernier stage que nous avons fait il y a 4 mois, en octobre, avec Ito Sensei. Je ne sais pas si il y a une traduction. Non, after. Le dernier stage, nous étions 40 au bord de la mer Méditerranée, à Béziers. Et Ito était très fatigué, mais très, très présent. Il était là, il déplaçait sa chaise, mais il était complètement avec nous. Et on a eu la chance le petit groupe de cobayes, c'est-à-dire le vendredi et le lundi. Il y a un grand stage le week-end, mais le vendredi et le lundi, c'est les cobayes, comme ils nous appelaient. Et on a revu tout le programme de Qigong et de Tai Chi. Et c'est un grand, grand merci. Parce qu'ils nous accompagnent complètement avec le Dalai Lama, le mantra. Et je remercie tout le groupe qu'avait créé Philippe Beauvois et qui a repris les nuages flottants. Un grand, grand merci. Et Nicole, sa présence, Clélie et tous les nuages flottants. Et c'est un vrai groupe très constitué, très fort et qui continue. Grâce à Ito. Un grand, grand merci. Ito, oui, international, cosmique. Je pense qu'il va au-delà des limitations de pays. C'est beaucoup plus grand. Lorsqu'on fait... Et le Shintaido est encore très présent. Il était dans Tenshin Goso, des bras ouverts. Un grand, grand merci à tous. Merci.
Merci.
Beaucoup de gratitude.
Merci. Jennifer Peringer.
Well, I would really love to do a Tenshin Goso with everybody. I just want to be with everybody, and that's
Go for it. Go for it.
All right, let's do it. Thank you, Ito. Thank you, community.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
It's wonderful to be here with you.
It is. Thank you for that. And Tommy.
So I have a fun thing to do in memory of Ito. So we all remember Ito's laugh. So if it's okay with you, Connie, I'd like to propose that all of us who are still here unmute and like remember Ito laughing.
Let's do that.
Okay. Thank you. I think that would make him happy.
Tommy, I agree. To have so many smiling, happy faces, and look at the group there in France. They're all together. We all are in community. That's beautiful and lovely. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tommy, for the lovely laugh. I'm going to ask to have Nicole come back up on the screen, and she's going to share some closing words.
Maybe Jean-Louis. Thank you very much, Jean-Louis.
Great.
En fait, j'aimerais qu'on ait plus de temps. Je pense que à vous entendre tous parler d'Ito de cette manière, j'aimerais qu'on puisse passer la nuit ensemble à parler de lui.
When I'm listening to you, I wish we had more time. I wish we could spend all night talking about Ito Sensei.
So, je vous remercie infiniment. Je suis très touchée par tous ces hommages et je suis surtout touchée par le fait de toute cette reconnaissance de ses élèves. Parce que
I thank you very much for all these nice words, and especially the words from his students.
Et parce que je pense que la plus grande reconnaissance pour un professeur, c'est la reconnaissance de ses élèves. Elle était très, très belle.
I think for a teacher, the best tribute is the tribute from his students.
Quand je vois cet écran avec 109 personnes, et je sais que beaucoup d'autres personnes pensent à lui, je vous ai tous rencontrés. Il m'a donné cette chance de vous rencontrer, de partager des moments de pratique avec vous, des repas, des bons repas, beaucoup de rire aussi.
When I see the screens with 109 people, and I think about all the others who've been his students, and I know you all, and I have this memory of sharing time and meals with you.
Je n'aurais jamais eu cette chance de vous avoir tous qui m'accompagnaient depuis bien avant, mais surtout depuis son décès.
So my life would not have been the same without all of you being with me and supporting me, especially since his death.
J'ai énormément de chance. J'ai beaucoup de gratitude envers lui. Et je voulais remercier aussi particulièrement Connie, Sarah, Oula, et Minagawa Sensei. Vous avez travaillé tellement pour préparer, et toutes les personnes qui ont travaillé, Tommy aussi, qui ont travaillé pour... C'était quand même beaucoup de votre énergie, beaucoup de votre amour pour Ito, votre respect pour Ito. Je l'ai ressenti depuis qu'il est parti. Et vraiment, Jean-Louis.
So I would like to sincerely thank all the people that, again, have helped me with since his death and organizing these tributes, and especially Connie and Sarah and Ula and Minagawa Sensei and Tommy. And I'm very, very deeply grateful to all of you for having been with me during that time.
Et beaucoup de gratitude pour Minagawa Sensei, qui était d'un grand support, qui était vraiment... Il m'a donné toute sa force. Pardon, il m'a donné toute sa force pendant tous ces moments-là. Il m'a aidé dans la compréhension aussi de la culture japonaise, qu'au niveau des funérailles, je n'avais pas forcément. Il m'a soutenu.
I'm very grateful for the support I got from Minagawa Sensei from many different standpoints. He gave me the strengths, and he gave me an understanding of the Japanese culture in terms of what happens at this time of death.
Did she freeze?
I think so.
I believe so. We are now going to close with a video of Ito singing. It is a song called The Evening or Setting Sun. And this song includes the concepts of Bokoi, looking homeward, about the sunset, nature turning red, all of us turning red.
どうぞ。
ギンギンギラギラ夕日が沈むギンギンギラギラ日が沈む真っ赤っかっか空の雲みんなの顔も真っ赤っかギラギラ日が沈む
Thank you all.